Welcome everybody to the Brandon and Ryan Hour. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Ryan. And today we are doing our full in depth review of Leave the World Behind that premiered on Netflix.
Oh, so we're supposed to leave now? Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this was
Anyway,
a Netflix original movie. And yeah,
what's with the
I don't,
original movie?
I don't
Are
know,
you
dude.
sure it was original?
Yes,
Was the quotes around original or Netflix?
I don't know. I don't know. Just go with it. Um,
Okay.
But
Okay.
anyway, for those of you who are
Anyways,
new here, we do talk about these like we've seen the movie, so we get into the
we have
actual
seen the movie.
story.
We
We
don't
get
talk about it like we've seen the movie. We have seen the movie,
right,
and
but
now we're
we
going to
discuss it
talk
in
about it.
depth, which is basically a spoiler warning for you people who are new and don't want spoilers. Or if you
Oh,
don't care,
no, no,
just
no.
hang around.
Just hang out. Spoilers are fun. Nobody cares. This movie, uh, yeah, it needs to be spoiled. Probably.
Okay. So Brandon, go ahead
Mhm.
and jump in, tell us the basic premise of the movie and what you thought about it.
Um, that's a lot of pressure. The basic premise of the movie is unsure. Not sure if it's supposed to be like. I think he was trying to be too much. It's like a family film, like where they're trying to like fix their family, but it's also some kind of disaster movie and also some kind of like suspense where you're not really sure if the people that show up randomly are legit or if they're psycho killers. So it's kind of a psychological mess.
It is definitely a mess. You are
Def-
correct with that.
Definitely should do some self introspection and find out who it really is before it comes out with a sequel.
I don't know if it's getting a sequel, but anyway.
I think it's been pretty popular. I mean, I don't hate it. There are parts of it that were enjoyable
Hmm.
and
Well, you and I disagree with that.
some interesting, I guess, concepts and thoughts and things to think about. Like, I guess in general.
Well, you and I disagree a lot then,
Yeah,
because
because you're dumb and you don't know what you're talking about ever.
I found nothing redeemable about this movie at all.
But Julia Roberts is cool.
No, she was horrible in this movie. Like I love her as an actress, but Julia Roberts was awful in the movie. Ethan Hawke was fine. I mean, I don't really care about him one way or the other, but
It
he
wasn't
did
a
it.
standout performance for him either. He's had some really good performances. So this is
I mean,
not
it's
one of them.
yeah,
It's
but he
okay.
he also wasn't bad in the movie. Like I
Right.
hated Julia Roberts' character in this movie. I didn't hate his character. He was a little weak, but his character
Yeah, her
was.
character was annoying and she did a really good job being annoying. So I guess in that aspect, she had a good performance. I really felt annoyed by her character at times. Sometimes she was okay, and then sometimes it's just like, are you supposed to be this dumb?
Who knows?
Anyway, keep going.
But then there was another character played by what's his name? Last name is Ali. I don't know how to
Ali.
pronounce his first name, but I thought his role was. I thought
His
his.
role was a sneeze.
I thought his portrayal was really good. I enjoyed him, but
You enjoyed his character
yeah, I
out of
like
all of the characters?
yes, but his was
Okay.
really the only character that I liked. Like when he was on screen and when he talked, I was interested. Everybody else I hated. And I really didn't like the actress that portrayed his daughter because she
The
was
actress or the character?
both.
Okay.
I thought one, the actress wasn't that great. Um, I was really annoyed
Just
that
middle of the road.
I was really annoyed that they kept showing her unshaved armpits, and it seemed like it was intentionally focused on a lot, and it irritated me.
Why are you looking at her armpits? Who
Like
looks at a chick's armpits?
there was a lot of times where the camera was like right here, and her arm was like this, and just unshaved, unkempt hair. And it almost looked like the camera was trying to focus on it.
I honestly have no legitimate memory of this.
Do
My
you
brain
not?
must have just blocked
Wow.
it out.
Like it
Did this
was,
happen more than once?
yeah, it happened like 3 or 4 times in the movie, and it was awful.
My
I didn't.
like my brain must have been like, yeah, you don't need to remember this. Delete. Because yeah, that sounds really stupid.
So I didn't
Uh,
like that, and I also didn't like her character. Her character was annoying and a complete and utter racist. So
um, I thought her character was like a spoiled, entitled brat who, yeah, that's basically what I thought about her, and she was just annoying, and she didn't add anything to the movie.
mm-hmm.
Which, if you're gonna have a character like that, who's gonna be abrasive, they definitely need to add something to the movie, or they're completely pointless and definitely bringing the movie down.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves,
But yeah, so the
as we
entire
tend to do because we're retarded.
but yeah, so the entire premise of the movie is this family played by Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, uh, and their 2 kids in the movie rent out a house for the weekend. They go there just to get away on a spur of a moment trip, which apparently they paid like $2,000 to rent out this house.
For the
In
weekend.
Yeah,
That seems like a good deal. That's a nice house.
I wouldn't spend
I
two
was
thousand
looking at
dollars to
I was
go.
looking at hotels, and it was $350 a night, and they weren't as nice as that place.
Yeah, but that's $2,000 for 2 days, 2 or 3 days.
For the weekend, yeah.
I don't know, but it is
They're in
in.
upstate New
They were
York.
in New York, so
And that's like
things
$1
are
million. That's a
things are.
multi-million dollar house.
Yes, you are correct. I still wouldn't want to pay $2,000 to go stay there. But anyway, they get out there, start relaxing, and then first night, the owner of the house, G.H. Scott, played by Ali, shows up, and
Okay,
yeah,
hold on. Before you
go.
get there, the way they go on vacation was annoying.
Okay.
Like, regardless of how much the place cost, they get where they're going. They drive all the way out there. And then she has to leave and go to a store that's not nearby. And she's presumably gone for hours shopping for groceries for the weekend. And she buys like a car full of groceries
Uh-huh.
for the weekend. Like the whole like I don't know logistics was annoying. She wasted like 3 hours of her vacation shopping.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Bacon shows up for 2 seconds. And I was like, oh, Kevin Bacon's in this. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then he's gone for like 85% of the movie and shows up for like a 5-minute scene.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's kind of a waste of Kevin Bacon right there.
You never want to waste bacon, especially Kevin Bacon.
Exactly. What's that? I just watched something with him in it. Oh, I just watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Okay.
and he's in it. It was freaking hilarious, and
Never watched it, so
it's a dumb, like, 45-minute movie that they made, and he has like a way better character in that because he's just playing himself. I was like, this is a waste of Kevin Bacon. Anyway, carry on.
but yeah, so the owner GH shows up at the house, and he's like, "Hey, we were on the way back from a concert and heard about this power outage in New York, so we came out here." And
Like,
the one thing that irritated me about his character is, like, I understand, hey, we're going out here because things are looking bad in the city. Um, why would you not bring your ID with you? Because Julia Roberts is like, hey, I don't know who you are. Show me your ID so I know that you're the actual person I talked to on the internet to book your house, and that you're the owner of the house. All he had to do was pull out his ID, and he's like, oh, I must have left my wallet. Why? Why? That serves no purpose in the movie.
well, he lost his wallet. Well, he said I must have left it in my overcoat.
Yeah, but we found out later that he wasn't at the theater when he found out about this. So he should have brought his wallet with him.
Right. That's because he wasn't. I think what the character was trying to do was hold back information from scaring them.
Yeah.
So, but they didn't do it in a very good way.
But what is
Like,
the
trying to
purpose
be
of him?
cryptic?
What is the purpose of him not bringing his ID and not showing who he is? Because that would have
I think
resolved
yes.
some initial conflict or tension.
Right, but they wanted the tension and conflict in the movie.
Yeah, but it was pointless.
You're kind of right. Like, yeah, but I think that all that did to Sir, that just showed that he was lying about the situation the first time. Because what really happened is there was a power outage. He didn't go grab his coat from the coat check. They just hit the road and went there because something's going on in the city. There's no power.
Well, what I got is he left from his actual apartment or house in Manhattan, that he wasn't actually at a place. Like he heard from his contact. He heard from his contact that something was going down, and he was like, "We got to get out of the city." Left his house. He wasn't actually at a concert.
See, all of that back and forth that they did was confusing. Because originally he said he was at the concert, and then they were going back home, and then the power went out, and he didn't want to have to walk up the stairs, so they went out to their place in the
country.
And then it became, oh, I must have left my jacket at the coat check, and it had my wallet in it. And she's like, well, I thought you didn't find out about the blackout until you were on your way home. And then he was like, oh, well, him and Ha, and then cut scene.
Yeah.
And then he told about the story about his contact. So what I was getting was that his contact had told him this. He was kind of going about his day to day. Then when the power went off throughout the whole city, that's when he was like, oh crap, we got to get out of here. And then that's when they hit the road. That's what I was thinking was actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to piece all that together, but it's a mess because you never really know exactly what's going on. Which can be okay sometimes, but in this there was too much. There was too much deceiving the audience.
Okay.
Instead of just deceiving the characters. Because sometimes they'll deceive the characters and tell the audience the truth. But in this, they were just deceiving the audience and the characters.
Yeah, I'm just saying the whole wallet thing just created tension that didn't need to be there. Like, you still could have created an interesting story knowing that he actually owned the house. Or with him saying, yeah, here's my ID. I am actually who I say I am. And you still could have built up tension between the characters.
Yeah, that whole scene, and then they didn't part like he didn't pull up to the house in his car. Like that's weird. Like just pull up to the house in your car.
I thought he did. They just didn't hear him. Because in the morning, whenever the daughter got up, she looked out the window and the car was right there in the driveway. And she
Yeah,
said,
but
"Whose car is
that
that?"
that night when they pulled up, like they didn't hear the car, they didn't see the car, there no headlights, no nothing. So they made it seem like they parked far away and then walked up to the house. Like just drive up to the house. That's less scary.
Okay.
Somebody drives up into your driveway. You're like, oh hey, somebody's here. Not nothing, and then knock knock knock, and you're like, oh crap, how did somebody get here? I didn't hear or see anything.
Okay. Or it could be that they just weren't paying attention and they actually did drive up.
But weren't they in the kitchen or near the
They
front
were
door?
they were in the living room, but it looked like there was a living
Yeah.
room, a hallway, a kitchen, and then the living room was attached to it.
Yeah. Anyway,
So they could have just been talking
that
and
whole
drinking and
setup.
not paying attention.
Yeah, the whole setup was kind of, eh. It. I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess I know what they were going for, trying to create this tension between these two families. But and then try to like bring the two families together after creating the tension.
Mm-hmm.
But then it just becomes this weird mess that it's hard to. We start off with the Sanford family, and then the guy and his daughter just show up. The Scots just show up.
Mm-hmm.
So the audience is thinking, okay, we're on the side of the Sanfords. The Scots are serial killers or something, and then they try to have like these interpersonal relationships that try to become friends and stuff, and it's a weird dynamic. And then all the stuff going on in the world doesn't make sense either.
Yeah, because I mean, basically, they find out that the country is under attack, and they have no idea from who or from whom or what's
Yeah,
going on because all the telecommunications are out, internet's out, phones are out, everything's down. So
satellites are down. Um, and then like weird things started to happen, like the leaflets being dropped, the animals doing weird stuff.
mm-hmm.
Um,
And they never wrapped up the whole animals doing weird stuff subplot. Like just hey, there's
yeah,
random flamingos in New York for no reason that
yeah,
never
the
got
animals and the
explained.
deer like just showing up and like are you 100 deer standing there in your backyard,
Uh huh.
like, and then all like it, so
And
the little girl is there.
why did they keep approaching the deer? Do people not realize how dangerous wild deer are? Like they've got incredibly sharp horns and hooves and will kill you. Like
And
they're
they
not
weigh like
peaceful animals.
small ones can weigh like 150 pounds, but they can weigh up to like 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Like you're not taking on a deer.
Right, they're not nice, cuddly animals. They are wild beasts. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
skittish, but when they're cornered or when they're threatened, they're going to attack you and kill you.
horns are there for a reason, people.
Yeah.
Do not approach a single deer or a whole herd of deer. Probably not gonna, probably not gonna make it out of there in one piece.
Yeah. That really aggravated me. They were like, "Oh, look, deer. Let's just walk up to them. Oh, look, we're getting surrounded by deer. Let's just start yelling and hope they don't stampede us and kill us."
That pissed me off. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Are we?
Okay, let's talk about the deer. Okay, so first off, I have seen reindeer CGI better than that. So I don't know why they had to look so bad. And then they didn't explain what was going on. The deer just show up, staring at the little girl,
Uh-huh.
and then they leave. And then she sees deer every once in a while. And then at the end, Julia Roberts and the other lady, the Scott girl,
Uh-huh.
Um, they're about to basically get gored to death by a herd of deer, and they just start screaming at them and holding hands,
Uh-huh.
and then the deer are like,
Like 150, 200 deer just are like, oh, well, we're just gonna run off now.
it's a ridiculous. It's a kind of situation where you wish you had your AR-15
Yeah.
with 150 round mag.
Yeah. Then you'd have a whole lot of food forever.
Right. Okay. But I didn't get why the deer were acting like that.
Yeah.
Why the deer ran off when they screamed at them. And the thing with the birds and yeah, the flamingos and the tick thing
Yeah.
that made his teeth fall out.
Well, it wasn't the tick that made his teeth fall out. Because they originally said maybe it's Lyme disease, but Lyme disease, one, doesn't make your teeth fall out, and two, a tick has to be attached to you for like 48 hours for you to even start to get Lyme disease, and then it takes months
Right.
for to develop. It's not, hey, I got bit by a tick, pulled it off, and 6 hours later my teeth are falling out.
Yeah, but like
But
there's
but yeah, it ended up they claimed it was some kind of radiation caused by the sound waves.
so okay. The sound. What the heck was the sound?
Some kind of radiation sound waves. I don't know.
How do you make?
Again, I
I'm
don't
not.
know.
I'm not that kind of a scientist, but I don't know how you make a sound that encompasses presumably hundreds of square miles
Mm-hmm.
to where it basically incapacitates people and also gives them radiation poisoning.
I don't
Makes
know.
their teeth fall out.
Yeah.
But it only happened to one of them, not
Not everyone.
any of the rest of them.
Yeah.
Eh. Anyway,
But yeah, the whole
that whole
teeth
like
coming out was really disgusting. Like
the teeth thing, that was nuts.
I
Like
did
I was
not.
like, ugh.
And what really sucks is I paused this movie like twice because I was getting annoyed by it, and I paused it right before the teeth thing, and it was like, hey, maybe if I go get something to eat, I'll sit down and I can eat, and the movie will get better. Maybe I'm just irritated because I'm hungry,
Right, right. Getting
and
hangry.
like I cooked some food, sat down, started the movie again as I'm starting to eat, and then the teeth thing happened. It was like, well, thank you for ruining my dinner.
Yeah, yeah, it's the wrong time to have a snack. But the like that's so it's like okay, the themes of the movie are um war, right? Some kind of
Kind of.
attack, terrorist attack, something like that, right?
Uh-huh.
You've got this weird sci-fi thing going on, and then you've got the suspense kind of stuff from the interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
The sci-fi stuff doesn't fit at all. Like, okay, the sound thing, maybe they've got because they were dropping the leaflets. Maybe they've got the drones just flying around, blasting sound, messing with people. Maybe.
Maybe.
But how are they? Why are the birds flocking to middle of nowhere or upstate New York in
Yeah.
the country?
I have no idea.
And the boat, those
Yeah.
people are stupid.
Like, one, why does a boat run aground? Like, even if the navigation system is messed up, like in 1490
Who's
something,
driving the boat?
like in the 1400s, 1300s, we've been selling for hundreds of years. People look out and say,
Thousands.
"Hey, land ho, don't run into it."
What'd you call me?
Like, why could somebody on the boat not be like, "Land ho, full stop, and then just stop.
And here's the thing. They were at the beach for a long time. And that boat was moving slow.
Yeah.
So they were like just dead. They're just like, oh no, compass says port is up here. We're going to port. Like it's getting kind of shallow, and those are cars in that parking lot over there. So we should probably stop.
Yeah.
And the crowd is just sitting there like, that's a crazy looking. Oh, we should run.
Yeah. And they didn't start running until the main characters started running. Like the main characters were like, we need to get out of here, and then everybody else started running.
None of the people have any kind of survival instinct. Makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did like where the Ethan Hawke, where he's like, I guess the daughter sees the boat,
Uh-huh.
and he looks out there and he's like, "Oh, that's a really nice boat." I'm like, that's such a dad thing to say.
Yeah, that's fair.
uh, so, all right. So what else? So what did you think about like, I guess the like the sci-fi stuff was annoying, and I
Uh-huh.
didn't like it.
Yep.
But like the idea of the attack was interesting.
Yeah, I mean that was interesting. Like it was fine. Um, but the execution was not well done at all.
So I don't know who directed this movie, but you know what this reminds me of?
I have no idea.
It reminded me of um crap.
Mm,
What's
really?
the movie called?
I have no
Yeah.
idea because you haven't given me any
It,
information about
it
the movie.
came out in like the early 2000s where like the alien monster shows up and you're following these kids around and it's like found footage and they're just recording on their like phones or something, but you hardly ever see the monster.
Are you talking about Super 8?
No, it came out
No.
before Super 8.
Oh.
It's New York. It happens in New York.
Are you talking
Um,
kids or like young adults?
like young adults.
Okay, I know what movie you're talking
You
about.
know what I'm talking about. What the heck's that movie called?
I don't
Um,
remember.
oh, hold on. What's that?
Cloverfield.
Dad and Roseanne.
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield. Yes. 2008. It reminds me of that movie. And Cloverfield Lane. 10 Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman came out
Okay.
a few years later. Where you have a story that's going on, but it's not the main story. There's a bigger story at play.
Okay.
Which, to me, it's interesting. So, like, did you watch 10 Cloverfield Lane?
I did not.
Okay. So, lady wakes up in a
Like I know the
underground
basic premise.
bunker,
I just
right?
haven't watched it. Yeah.
Okay. So the whole movie, you don't know what's going on outside. It's not till the very end of the movie that when she gets out of the bunker, when the aliens show up, and you're like, oh crap, there are aliens. But that guy was still a freaking weirdo murderer guy. But there are aliens.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, okay, that was an interesting story. But you had aliens over here, which is a more interesting story. I get it, and it's okay to do that sometimes, but that's what I felt like here. It's like you're watching, like there's a bigger story at play, and it's not the main part of the story.
Okay.
To me, that's kind of annoying. If what they're making the main part of the story isn't very interesting, and
Yeah.
this one wasn't.
It definitely wasn't, and they never wrapped anything up in the movie. Like the only thing that they wrapped up is the daughter of the main family wanted to finish Friends, the TV show Friends,
Oh,
and they show her
well,
being
they
able
found
to
that.
to start the last episode, and they cut. They don't wrap up anything between the two families. They don't wrap up any of the war stuff going on.
Eh,
Like they just ended the
I don't
movie.
think that was the plan.
I don't care.
That actually didn't bother me
It bothered me a whole lot
because
because I'm tired of movies just stopping abruptly and not finishing what they started.
that's fair. That's a good point. Because I've been doing that a lot lately.
Yeah, it
Where they're
seems to
like,
be a
here's a
trend,
bunch of plot points
and then just
that
in the
fizzle out.
movie with nothing resolved. So
Yeah. The only reason I can think that they do that is to try to get sequels.
yeah, it's a dumb plan.
Um,
Like make a
'Cause-
full movie. Don't put a half movie
yeah,
out and then hope to resolve stuff in a sequel.
right, yeah. I'm with you on that. I agree. Um, I thought they kind of wrapped up a few things because, I mean, there is some kind of war. So they're going into this bunker that she found.
No, she
So,
found a bunker. Nobody else made it there. The
right.
mom and the daughter,
But
GH's daughter, never
presumably,
made it there. The guys didn't make it back. Nobody knew where she went. She went by herself, and they ended it before anybody even found where she was.
yeah, but
So
it's
there's
gonna.
no reason to believe that they find her in the bunker.
I'm not saying they find her in the bunker. I'm saying what probably happened is
It doesn't
she
matter what
finishes.
probably happens because we don't know because they just end the movie without anything.
Right, but you have to. Like, you can make logical conclusions. And that's what some of these movies want you to make, is they want you to fill in the blanks. Which is kind of annoying sometimes. Because sometimes I don't want to fill in the blanks. That's why I'm paying you to write a good story.
Uh-huh.
So I don't have to make up my own story. But presumably, after her 22-minute episode of Friends, she goes outside, says, "Hey guys, look what I found." And then they all hang out there until, oh, no, because Kevin Bacon told the Scott guy about the bunker.
Uh-huh.
So presumably, they were going to go to the bunker, get the kids and the wives, the wife and the kids, and then go to the bunker and hang out. So that's how that resolves. And then they did kind
They
of like,
didn't resolve it though. They just left it open.
it's an ending that doesn't have to show you the end. Like it you know what's going to happen within the next 30 minutes in the
I'm just saying
in the movie.
that's
time.
lazy storytelling, not finishing the story.
That part didn't bother me.
It bothered
Like,
me.
the how they tried to tie up the family loose ends was annoying.
Okay.
Like, because that girl and Ali's daughter, the Scott daughter, and Julia Roberts' character make friends somehow.
Yeah.
Because they scream at deer. Julia Roberts' character and Ali like have this weird interaction where you're like, what is happening here? Why are you guys interacting like this? Like, you're
Yeah.
married, you're both married, and you're acting like, what are your husband is outside smoking pot,
Yeah.
and you guys are having this weird like interaction where there's like there's this potential for an affair. Like, what is happening here?
Yeah. Which made no sense.
Yeah, and then you've got you've got what else, what other character stuff was there? Oh, between Ethan Hawke and Ali, where they're like, Ali helps him get the medicine from Kevin Bacon, and then like, I guess they start he kind of proves himself to be like, okay, look, dude, I'm on your side no matter what. Like, we gotta, for
We
whatever
gotta band
reason, we're
together
in
to-
this together.
Yeah. To survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that, but the night before you were about to sleep with his wife. So like, yeah, that kind of stuff is kind of annoying. That whole thing between Julie Roberts and Ali, if they would have left that out, it it would have made the movie like way better. I think that ruined a lot of the stuff. And the same thing with Ethan Hawke's character, where they're like, "Have you ever slept with any of your
Students.
students?"
Yeah,
And then he didn't answer the question, so you're like, "What the? Like, why? Why are we doing this?"
I don't know.
Like, we get it, people are messy, but like, this is unnecessary mess in the movie. Like, you've already entered in all these other things, and like I said, not resolving them, and they just keep piling up garbage,
Mm-hmm.
like normal everyday people life garbage. It's like, okay, we're trying to watch this movie to get away from our normal everyday garbage, and you're throwing it back in our faces, and you don't fix any of the garbage. Like, none of our garbage is fixed. So, thanks for making me feel great.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, what are your impressions on the movie?
I liked the war story part more than I liked anything else in the movie.
Okay.
I think the concept was interesting, and I'd like to see that movie, like the war part of that movie, right? That's what I would like to see. I don't want the Sanfords or the Scots in the sequel. I just want the war part.
All right.
But then they made it weird where like it's this foregone conclusion that Americans will turn on each other within 48 hours
Yeah.
after having read pamphlets that are in Korean.
Korean,
Um, what
some
else did
Middle
they have?
Eastern language.
Yeah, Arabic
Arab.
and
Yeah.
some other stuff, like different languages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would we start bombing ourselves?
I don't know.
Because we can't, like, first off, the only people who are going to have the ability to bomb each other would be the people in the military.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think they're going to be like, "You know what? We haven't heard from New York City in 48 hours. Let's bomb it."
Yeah.
That makes no sense. But the whole concept about being attacked in the way the United States was attacked in the movie is interesting. And the 3-step attack thing was interesting, where you only have to do the first 2 steps, and
And the country
third,
tears it apart. Tears
yeah,
itself apart. Yeah.
kind of the opposite of what's that movie?
I don't know.
The 80s movie where we get invaded by Russia and China.
Oh, the one with the Wolverines. Red
Yes,
Dawn. Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Like, it's kind of the opposite of that. We're like, "Oh, we're getting invaded." Well, now we're all on the same side, regardless of any prior irritations with each other. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill all the foreigners. Kill
So,
all the invaders, not the foreigners.
Yep. So, out of 10, what would you give this movie?
5.8. That's what
Well,
I'm going
that's
for.
much more generous than I was going to give.
Yeah, I thought about going lower, but
I honestly thought this movie was terrible.
interesting.
One of the worst movies of the year. I'm going to give it a 3.8 out of 10.
3.8. Okay, that's respectable. Should I change 5.8? Okay, hold on. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to change my score. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change my score
Okay.
because I was just looking back at some other scores that I've given. I'm gonna change mine to a 4.8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, why don't you
you're
tell
right,
everybody where they can find us?
You can find me right here. Right here, right now. We go live on Rumble a couple times a week. Mondays we try to do a movie review, full in depth, all the spoilers and fun stuff. And then Thursdays, or whenever we get around to it, hopefully on Thursdays, we try to do some series reviews or comic books or some other form of entertainment, something we enjoy. You can find us live on Rumble, and then we post videos on YouTube as well. And you can follow us on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it at BRH Reviews. No. Yes. Yes?
Yes, I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah. I just confused myself. If you have enjoyed the show or yeah, had fun or whatever, if you're still here, give us a thumbs up and a like and a follow or subscribe or whatever. And let us know what you thought about the movie and anything we might have missed talking about or something we didn't think about, because we'll I like to have those conversations, see what else people thought about the movie, and give us some recommendations for what you think we should watch next.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what 2024 is going to look like as far as movies goes. Hopefully there's some good movies.
Hopefully so. But
Really hope
with
so.
that, we are going to wrap up here, and we will talk to you guys later.
Later.